Greetings, Space Marines! FiOth here, and today I bring you my first build for the Bulwark. Finalized this last night on stream, and I have to say I'm very impressed. We have to disclaim something pretty early in the vid though, so I don't get misunderstood during the course of it. Bulwark right now is glitched AF. I mean, this class is totally bugged. Half the things that apply during combat are not supposed to apply. You pick one perk and you activate the entire column of perks. It feels a little bit stronger than it should because it utilizes more tools than any other class because of these bugs. A prime example of this is column where you automatically pretty much get the ability to replenish all contested health for all people within the Baron's reach, and of course the loadout console fills up your health, whilst of course it shouldn't. These are all instances of glitches that can be replicated at will, making combat with the Bulwark that much easier than with pretty much any other class. That being said, for posterity, this guide will contain the correct configuration of the build I want to put out there, so people in the future will be able to enjoy it as it's supposed to be and make the best possible use of this character. Granted, you want to follow the approach that I do. Without further ado, let's get to it. As always with these build guides, I'm resetting everything, going through the perks, explaining why I am using the stuff I am using so you can make an informed decision. And please, if you have a different opinion, just let me know in the comment section below. Column number 1, Conviction. When your armor is fully depleted, you take 25% less health damage for 5 seconds. Intimidating Aura. A perfectly timed parry deals area of effect damage within a 5-meter radius. Forward momentum. After a shield bust, melee damage increased by 25% for 5 seconds. I go with Intimidating Aura. It's automatic damage every time you use a perfect parry. For the needs of this build, perfect parrying is gonna be paramount, so all of these assets working together will yield a more potent effect. Forward momentum is also great, but since I do not use shield bust as often, especially on Ruthless, I go for Intimidating Aura. Column 2, Armor of Content. When you block a ranged attack, enemies within 10-meter radius take damage instead. Shock and Awe. Enemies in a shock area take 25% more damage. Scramble target. If you are surrounded by 5 or more enemies, you take 20% less damage from ranged attacks. 100% shock and awe, and this is because we will be working a lot with shock in this build, so capitalizing on this is truly important. Take my word for it. Column 3, Defensive Advantage. A perfectly timed parry creates a shock area for 5 seconds. Cooldown is 30 seconds. Still within. When your health is less than 50%, you take 20% less damage to your health. Armor Reinforcement. Non-finisher gun strikes also restore ammo. Now this is great in every class that can utilize it, but for this specific class, Defensive Advantage is super good, and this is because it is shock damage tying in perfectly with shock and awe, and it's not the only thing that will tie in with it. So follow my thought process and everything will be made crystal clear. Now we go to the team 4th column, Unyielding Ceramide. The delay before armor starts to replenish is reduced by 5 seconds for the entirety of the team. 25 seconds is the standard amount of time that you need to wait. Advanced Conditioning. Contested health fades 50% more slowly for all squad members. Effective Formation. All squad members take 20% less health damage from terminus level enemies. For me, the best choice here is Advanced Conditioning, and I'm gonna explain why. Later in the build, we're gonna pick the actual talent that allows you to refill the contested health of all people in the formation of the standard when you use it. So giving these people a little bit more time to get a finisher in order to replenish as much health as possible is super useful, and here you get 50% more time to get it done. So we're gonna use this, and it will work perfectly with the stuff that we're gonna pick next. For the 5th, Concussive Force. Shield Bust deals more damage. Rapid Regeneration. The banner restores armor 300% faster, but its duration is reduced to 5 seconds. Focus Strength. Shield Bust knocks enemies back and makes them lose control for a longer period of time. Now, here we can pick 2 things. One is Rapid Regeneration. The banner doesn't stay for long, but it becomes super tanky for the duration that it stays. And Focus Strength gives you good CC, especially against the chonkers, but it's tied to Shield Bust, not the ability I am mostly hugely in favor of using. Any of these two will serve you well if you go for a clutch kind of approach where you mostly wanna heal your allies and make a stand when everything seems lost. Rapid regeneration is great. If you're gonna train yourself to use shield bust more potently, focus strength is great. For now, I'm gonna pick focus strength, but feel free to use rapid regeneration if you deem it more useful because it's really good. Sixth, purity of purpose. The banner deals a small amount of damage over time to enemies within its area of effect. Merciless resolve. After a shield bust, you do not lose control and cannot be staggered for 5 seconds. Invigorating icon. When the banner is activated, all squad members regain maximum constented health. Now, this is the one we're looking for, and right now, because it is bugged, once you reach the 6th column right here, you get it for free. Actually, you get everything for free. It's glitched as fuck, and you just get free perks. But for the purposes of this build for posterity, as I said in the beginning, invigorating icon is 100% the one that we want. 7th column, rejuvenating effect. When the banner is activated, it revives incapacitated squad members in its area. Glory shield. All squad members within the banner's area of effect take 10% less damage, and this grants 10% more damage outgoing from the squad, but we 100% are picking rejuvenating effect. This can pretty much save a run if you mess it up, so the Bulwark should always be the class that gets a relic first, because if you can revive yourself, you can pretty much move in and revive one or even both of your allies if they fell close to each other. Strategize, explain to people on comms when the shit hits the fan that they at least should try to get close to each other if they're about to fall. Then you can go in, drop the standard and kick ass and save the run. And for the signature, emergency countermeasure. When your armor is depleted, a reserve shock grenade automatically detonates at your position, 2 minutes of cooldown. Defensive mastery, a perfectly timed parry instantly incapacitates a Majoris or extremis level enemy, cooldown is 120 seconds. Armor advance, if you have armor remaining, you do not lose control upon taking damage, cannot be staggered. So, people love this, they love defensive mastery, and I can understand why. It surely brings a lot to the table to be able to incapacitate an extremis right away. The problem with this is that you will be incapacitating a shitload of Majoris with perfectly timed parries, and you will be burning this ability on them. The only way to avoid doing this is not to go after parries against Majoris. I don't know why in hell you would want to do this. For me, it'd be better if it only triggered on fighting extremis. Then you would know that there is no way of burning it unless you're fighting the really big chonkers. As it stands, I don't really like it. This is totally shit. I don't understand what is the last perk you get. I mean, you have a ton of tools in your arsenal to avoid stagger. This being at the very last node is kinda underwhelming, but this is really good. When your armor is depleted, a reserve shock grenade automatically detonates at your position. This is fantastic. It ties with shock and awe. It ties with defensive advantage. What you pretty much are able to do is get yourself in a corner, get your stuff procced, and as you defend yourself by either performing finishers or blocking light attacks, you see the enemies get eviscerated left and right without lifting a finger. It can be devastating to the enemy's formation and has cleared room for me on multiple occasions. Only problem right now is that it's kind of bugged in a sense that you miss the chance for a gun strike sometimes, or the enemy gets killed before you can even grab them with a finisher. They tend to die very easily, even on Ruthless, but as it stands, it is super effective and should not be overlooked. For our weapons, we start with a plasma pistol, top right relic, and for our perk tree, follow what I'm doing here. The perk tree of the plasma pistol is one of the shittiest in the game. You really can't get too far to the right without sacrificing something substantial. By replicating this, you get fast charges, larger reserves, and overall better range for your explosive overcharges and damage, but you miss out on the final nodes that are substantial cooldown or hit build-up features, not worth the investment, at least according to what I'm trying to do here. For the power sword, top right relic, this is the fencing one, and you can replicate this to get the best possible damage for both chaos and tyranids, but you miss specialized damage on the final circle of perks. Not worth it in my humble opinion, because you're gonna be missing a ton of general purpose damage if you go that way. You also get this, the reeling blow. Enemies hit with Power Rake. This is any charged after your first normal attack. Deal 30% less damage for 4 seconds and 10 seconds of cooldown. You can really debilitate extremists and terminus enemies with this, so don't overlook it. Very easy to pull and very rewarding damage-wise and debuffing-wise. So, this is it, Space Marines, my very first guide for the Bulwark. Replicate this, let me know what you think about it. Pick any of these 2 builds to keep growing your characters in Space Marine 2. Join us for the streams, and until next time, be well, stay frosty, and always strive for perfection. Cheers!